Well, hello everybody. Welcome to Treasure Earth. Appreciate you being here. So, I hope you have enjoyed some of the last episodes on my recent trip over to the UK. Now, this one here will be my final episode from that trip. I got some great footage, but this day was a little tougher. It was the weather was just wicked. It was turbulent. It was windy and stormy and through some sleet. So the drone was out of the question. And throughout this, I'm going to leave the wind noise in it just so you can hear some of the stuff we detected through. Now, I'm with a local group, the same one I was with the previous week. And another great location they found here. Probably 50 detectorists over this large farmer's field. Now, with the wind, I was using the WS2 headphones. I wish I had the extra large ones in this particular case, just to cut down on some of that wind. Of course, they're the full ones that go right over your ear so you can hear everything. Some of these smaller targets, the XP Deus 2, was performing really well. In fact, I was walking over areas where detectors had been already, quite a few of them, and I was able to pinpoint some of the targets through there, including my very last target of the day, which was a really special find. So in true Canadian fashion, of course, I walked into the field wearing shorts and light jacket, and through the wind and the rain and everything like that, I got some funny looks. But for me, it wasn't that cold. The wind was the tough part of it. And of course, right now in Canada here, there's 6 inches of snow and it's probably about -10. So I wish I was back in that sort of weather. But thanks again for joining me. And I really hope you enjoyed these episodes on the trips to England here. This last trip was a really good one. So thanks again for being here, and stay tuned. Well, look at the first find of the day here. It's this little coin here. Rang up about 78 on the Deus 2. So this coin is in really bad shape, as you can see. However, you can just make out a 6 at the very bottom of it there. And it's the size of a half penny. And so it's going to be 1860s. And you can just see a faint image of Queen Victoria there. So that's what that coin is. This little buckle here, as you can see, it's quite worn, but it's probably quite old. See, that's a little Roman right there. So that little Roman coin was this silver denarius. You can see the head of Emperor Nero there, and his name was inscribed there, as you can see, Nero. And he reigned from 54 to 68 in the Common Era there. Really good detail there. And on the other side, there's a seated god Jupiter on that side. Well, I'm glad I dug up this big iron signal. I wasn't going to, but it actually turned out to be a pretty cool item. So this is, you can see this very cool old lock. Looks like this part here was actually brass. I couldn't even take a guess at how old that is. Probably been bashed around that field for a couple hundred years though. It's a very cool find though. Well, this was one of those, one of the many buttons. Unfortunately, you can't really see anything. There's no real markings on this one. So this little 44 on the detector, some ornamental piece. So this little find is, well, it looks to me like to be a harness mount. Maybe 1300s to 1500s. And they would attach these to belts and horse harnesses and even bags sometimes. This is a cool little figurine, just a little, probably was a knight leaning on his sword there. Well, this little guy rang up about 50. Could be a farmer's token. It's quite thin, so it might be a little token. So this little farmer's token here, you can see, look at how thin that is. It's amazing these detectors pick that up. But on the other side, and not surprising because I'm not far from Basingstoke, you can see the writing quite clearly there. I'm not sure on the year, but I'm sure a couple hundred years old, that one. Well, looks like a little button here. Rang up only about 45 on the detector. So this little button, a little naval button, as you can see, I'm sure it's 1800s there, probably early 1800s, because I don't see a crown on the very top of it, so it's a little bit older. A cool little find. Well, this was Storm Amy ripping through the British Isles here, hurling at us a mix of sleet and sunshine. So this piece looks like some sort of mount as well. A little bit of gold flaking on there, you can see right at the very end. I'd like to think this is part of a sword scabbard or something exciting like that. But it's definitely old. Definitely going into the medieval range there. So this surface signal here, this little guy here, well, this one I'm not quite sure of. I thought maybe a part of a key, but it's probably more part of a horse harness. Maybe attached in this area there. It's kind of cool though. Now this is kind of a cool little one. It's a little thimble, crushed of course. I've seen a lot of these found, silver, a lot of them silver. This one is a copper one, but it's probably quite old too. Another little button. Well, this is a very cool button. Maybe some sort of regiment button. Probably dating late 1800s, early 1900s. Well, this little hammered coin came in about 58 or 59 on the dais here. So this little Commonwealth was the last find of the day for me. You can just see how small it is and thin that is. This little piece of silver has been bashed around, probably snipped, and look at how tiny that is now. I'm not surprised people walked over this one all day, because it's really tough. Only by luck and having the dais too was able to pick that up. But a really, really cool find. A great way to end the trip. Well, everybody, I'm going to call it a day there. Today was a great day out, actually. This is my last day. Sadly, it's the end of my couple of weeks too, but just saw some amazing places and had some amazing finds and met some really cool people along the way here. Today was a bit turbulent, though. It was windy, hurled some rain, and some sleet even came through. As you can see, it's still probably a little windy. The sun's breaking out a little bit, though. But what a fantastic day. I just feel so lucky to be able to see all these things and actually metal detect on these, these places that have centuries and centuries of history. So some really cool finds in there. I feel quite fortunate in my last couple of weeks here. Again, thanks to everybody who joined me on some of these, and hope you enjoyed this series on outside of Canada, in England, this one. So thanks very much, everyone, and take care till next time.